Well, hello and welcome to the Minnesota 4-H 4 for 4 series. Here's how it works. A 4-H youth, that's me, asks 4 questions in 4 minutes to a 4-H alumni about life and a career they love. My name is Henry and I'm from Meeker County, and I serve as a Minnesota 4-H state ambassador. Today, I get to interview Margaret Anderson Kelliher. She's the city operation officer for the city of Minneapolis and a Minnesota 4-H alumni from Blue Earth County. Hi, Margaret. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Hi, Henry. I'm the alumni. I'm excited to talk with you today.
Well, that's great. So I hear that 4 minutes goes by real quick, so we better get started soon. So my first question is, what sparked your interest in a career focused on public service and leadership?
So I think 4-H was a really important part of that sparking because I grew up on a dairy farm in Blue Earth County near Mankato, and really no one directly in my immediate life was in any sort of public service. They were farmers, they were teachers, which is a type of public service, but nothing that touched in government or politics. And it really was, for me, the farm crisis of the 1980s that got me interested in who made decisions and why the decisions were impacting farming. So that's how I got interested.
Cool, cool. So how have your experiences within 4-H prepared you to work in the field of public service?
Well, from my earliest time in 4-H, I always say that the very first time, and like many of the 4-H alumni who would watch this, know that the very first time you might ever hold a gavel in your life is being the president of your 4-H club or the vice president of your 4-H club. And so I think those early things of leading meetings, learning Robert's Rules of Order, and then also when I was an ambassador like you, and going to the Washington D.C. trip and being able to go up to the Hill in Congress, it made me really interested in these topics. And so I think there's a direct connection to my 4-H experiences, both in terms of leadership and public service.
Yeah, definitely. 4-H has many options for leadership. So what advice do you have for youth who want to make an impact on an important issue?
Well, I think the first thing is, be good at what you like to do in 4-H. Get curious about the things that drive your passion, because then that will help you make a big impact in the world. And so I think about things like the skills I learned, like public speaking. I mean, when I went to the legislature and was first elected, I remember standing up on the House floor giving my first speech. I was nervous, but I gave my speech. Someone came over to me and they said, "Oh, you're a really good public speaker. Where did you learn were you in debate or what was it?" And I said, I thought back, I thought it was my 4-H demonstration days. I really love doing that. And I think that helps you then connect to both how you can make an impact. So I'm a fairly good orator, and that skill from 4-H helps me a lot. I think being state 4-H president and an ambassador, leading groups of people, when I went to the legislature and later on would become the elected Speaker of the House, directly related. And then I just have to say, memorizing all those counties helped a lot to connect to my colleagues all across the state.
Definitely. And one last question. What other skills than public speaking that you gain from 4-H do you use in your public service work?
I think the other thing that I use a lot in my public service work is really the thinking through a problem, the problem solving, learning by doing, the way that 4-Hers are judged at the county fair, the state fair, the interview model. It's an inquiry model. It's a really important model, and I use it in my work all the time. I use it with my colleagues. I use it outside of the walls of City Hall right now. And it's an important skill to be curious and use that inquiry model in how you're both finding information and making decisions.
Definitely. Well, Margaret, our time is already up. Thank you for talking with me today. I really enjoyed learning about your 4-H story and your career path.
Henry, you did a great job. Thank you so much. And boy, that went fast.
Yes, that's for sure. This has been Minnesota 4-H's 4 for 4. See you next time.